Vermillion County, some of the Vermillion County Teens as Teachers team. They went to the training in late February of 2020, just about 1 week before the world shut down. So they haven't had very many opportunities to to share what they've learned. So thank you guys for joining into this evening. And one thing, I don't know if you've ever done it, but if you, and maybe some of you have, if you put it on speaker view, then that will show just a few people, and it will show the folks who are speaking. So that's a little trick, because there's a lot of folks on tonight. So I'm going to turn it over now to Annabelle and Chloe. So if you put it on speaker view, they will show up. So.
Hi, my name's Annabelle Bray. I've been doing 4-H for 6 years now, and tonight we're going to be teaching you about being a good listener and how to use that.
I'm Chloe Lamb, and this will be my second year in 4-H.
Okay, so before we get started, you guys are probably going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. It's highly recommended that you do that, so you can do the activity and follow along with us. So I'll give you a minute or two. Does everyone have a paper and pencil or something to write with? Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to read you a paragraph, and then we're going to just have you listen and not write anything down while we're reading it to you. And then after we're done reading it, we're going to ask you a couple questions about specific things in the paragraph, and then we're going to see how many you get right at the end. That being said, if you want a number, we're going to do 3 stories, and they're each going to have 5 questions after them. So if you want a number on your page beforehand, just 3 sets of 5 questions. And then we're going to ask you to do how many you guys think you're going to get right. It's kind of like a gauge on how well of a listener you guys think you are. And then we're going to compare that to your end score. So I'll give you guys a minute to do that.
So out of total of 15, how many I think I'm going to get right?
Yeah, out of 15. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think Chloe's going to start off with the first paragraph.
So the first paragraph. Ted's alarm went off this morning at 6:45. He pushed the snooze button 3 times. It did not actually get out of bed until 7:15. He showered, brushed his teeth, got dressed, and ate breakfast with his mother, father, and sister. After his brother finished reading the newspaper, Ted glanced through the sports section and read a baseball story. Ted looked at the clock and it read 7:45. He grabbed his book bag and drove to school. Okay. So now the questions. Question number 1. What time was it when Ted got out of bed? A, 6:30, B, 6:45, C, 7 o'clock, or D, 7:15? Again, what time was it when Ted got out of bed? 6:30, B, 6:45, C, 7, D, 7:15. Question number 2. What is the correct order in which Ted did the following things? Showered, brushed his teeth, dressed, and ate breakfast? B, brushed his teeth, showered, dressed, and ate breakfast? C, showered, dressed, brushed his teeth, and ate breakfast? Or D, showered, dressed, ate breakfast, and brushed his teeth? Again, what is the correct order in which Ted did the following things? A, showered, brushed his teeth, dressed, and ate breakfast? B, brushed his teeth, showered, dressed, and ate breakfast? C, showered, dressed, brushed his teeth, and ate breakfast? Or D, showered, dressed, ate breakfast, and brushed his teeth? Question number 3. With whom did Ted not eat breakfast with? A, his mother, B, his father, C, his sister, or D, his brother? Again, with whom did Ted not eat breakfast with? A, his mother, B, his father, C, his sister, and D, his brother. Question number 4. What did Ted grab before he left the house? A, his book bag, B, his backpack, C, books, D, he didn't grab anything. Again, what did Ted grab before he left the house? A, his book bag, B, his backpack, C, his books, D, he didn't grab anything. Question number 5. How did Ted get to school? A, rode the bus, B, walked, C, rode his bike, D, or he drove. Again, how did Ted get to school? A, rode the bus, B, he walked, C, he rode his bike, or D, he drove. Now that we got these answers, we'll go through the answers to see how you did. So question number 1, what time was it when Ted got out of bed? The correct answer was D, 7:15.
If you got them wrong, we ask that you just write it off to the side and actually keep the wrong one so we can count it at the end. Sorry.
Question number 2 was, what is the correct order in which Ted did the following things? The correct answer was A, showered, brushed his teeth, dressed, and ate breakfast. Question number 3 is, with whom did Ted not eat breakfast with? And the correct answer was D, with his brother. Question number 4, what did Ted grab before he left the house? And the correct answer was B, backpack. And then question number 5, how did Ted get to school? The correct answer was D, he drove.
Okay. Is everyone done tallying? Okay. So we're going to skip to the third one in case Caleb comes back and decides he wants to do that. So this will be the third one. You can write it on the second one. It doesn't really make a difference, though. Here it is. Number 3, Ginny likes to travel. Her first vacation was a trip to Chicago, Illinois for 2 weeks. She has been on cruises to the Bahamas, Bermuda, and Mexico. She has been whitewater rafting in West Virginia. Her favorite trip was a ferry boat ride down the Mississippi River with stops in Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana. She hopes to go backpacking through Europe someday and wants to see the Greek ruins, the canals of Venice, and the Eiffel Tower. Okay, here's the questions. Question number 1, how did Jenny get to Chicago, Illinois? A, airplane, B, train, C, car, or D, hitchhiked? Question number 1 again. How did Jenny get to Chicago, Illinois? A, airplane, B, train, C, car, or D, hitchhiked? Question number 2. To where did she not go on a cruise? A, the Bahamas, B, Jamaica, C, Bermuda, or D, Mexico? Again, that's to where did she not go on a cruise? A, the Bahamas, B, Jamaica, C, Bermuda, or D, Mexico? Question number 3. What did she do in West Virginia? A, go camping, B, whitewater rafting, C, mountain biking, or mountain climbing, or D, hitchhiking? Number 3 again. What did she do in West Virginia? A, go camping, B, whitewater rafting, C, mountain climbing, or D, hiking? Okay, question number 4. How does she want to travel when she is in Europe? A, by plane, B, biking, C, backpacking, or D, Eurotrain? Question number 4 again. How does she want to travel when she is in Europe? A, by plane, B, biking, C, backpacking, or D, Eurotrain? Question number 5. What doesn't she want to see in Europe? A, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, B, the Greek ruins, C, the canals of Venice, or D, the Eiffel Tower? Again, what doesn't she want to see in Europe? A, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, B, the Greek ruins, C, the canals of Venice, or D, the Eiffel Tower? Okay, that was number 3, and the correct answers are, for number 1 was B, or for number 1, how did Jenny get to Chicago, Illinois, was B, by train. Question number 2, to where did she not go on a cruise, was also B, Jamaica. Question number 3, what did she do in West Virginia? Also B, whitewater rafting. Question number 4, how does she want to travel when she is in Europe? Was C, backpacking. And lastly, question number 5, what doesn't she want to see in Europe? Was A, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to the second paragraph because Caleb won't be joining us.
He's having internet problems.
Andrea loves to rollerblade. One day she put on her skates and rollerbladed to a sidewalk 2 streets away from her house. She then rode through her neighborhood until she reached the brown house with the large dog. She turned around and skated towards the elementary school. As she was going down a hill, she hit a bump and fell. She hurt her arm, so she took off her skates and walked home.
Okay, and for the questions for paragraph number 2. Question number 1, how far away was the sidewalk from her house? A, 1 street, B, 2 streets, C, 3 blocks, or D, 1 mile? Number 1 again, how far away was the sidewalk from her house? A, 1 street, B, 2 streets, C, 3 blocks, or D, 1 mile? Question number 2, what color was the house that had the large dog? A, gray, B, white, C, brown, or D, the story did not say? Again, what color was the house that had the large dog? A, gray, B, white, C, brown, or D, the story did not say? Question number 3, where was she going after she turned around at the house with the dog? A, the hill, B, home, C, the sidewalk, or D, the elementary school? Again, where was she going after she turned around at the house with the dog? A, the hill, B, home, C, the sidewalk, or D, the elementary school? Question number 4, what did Andrea hit that made her fall? A, a bump, B, a crack, C, the sidewalk, or D, a twig? Question number 4 again, what did Andrea hit that made her fall? A, a bump, B, a crack, C, the sidewalk, or D, a twig? Question number 5, what did she hurt when she fell? A, her arm, B, knee, C, her ankle, or D, her elbow? Question number 5 again, what did she hurt when she fell? A, her arm, B, her knee, C, her ankle, or D, her elbow? And that's the question for that paragraph. So if you want to do the answers.
The answers for the second paragraph? Or
Yeah.
just?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So for the answer for number 1, paragraph 2 is, how far away was the sidewalk from her house, which was B, 2 streets. Question number 2, what color was the house that had the large dog? The correct answer was C, brown. Number 3, where was she going after she turned at the house with the dog? And the correct answer was D, the elementary school. Question number 4, what did Andrea hit that made her fall? The correct answer was A, a bump. And lastly, question number 5, what did she hurt when she fell? The correct answer was A, her arm.
Okay. Now that we're done with the paragraphs and the answers, we ask that you tally up however many you got right and kind of look at it compared to what you thought you would get right. Okay. So how you did worse? You can just raise your hand, or I think there's an option where you can raise your hand on the Zoom, but you don't have to be that fancy. So how many of you got worse than you originally thought you would? Yeah. Anybody do better than they?
What are some strategies for good listening? Are my girls back? Yeah. There's Annabelle.
Sorry.
Annabelle, I just asked the one question. There's Chloe. I just asked the folks what are some strategies for good listening, so I'll let you girls take it from here. No, it's fine. We have no control over technology and connectivity. I wish we did.
Okay.
So I think somebody. Oh, yes. Not to be doing other things at the same time. Yeah, we're guilty of multitasking.
And to go along with that, to go along with the statement of doing multiple things at once, how many of y'all are really guilty of being on your phone during the Zoom? And that's one of our biggest setbacks now is our cell phones, just listening to other people or just out in general. You don't get that same quality of listening as you would do without them.
Also on Zoom, I with my friends talk and say this, and I don't know if you already said this, Becky, but the backgrounds of other people in the Zoom call, it's really easy to get distracted, just trying to see where they are, what's behind them, or yeah. So that's another big distraction.
We talked about that last night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So have we already gone over what do you guys think you could do to improve your listening skills? Okay, well, that's my next question. How can you guys type in chat or just think of ways, how do you guys think it would be beneficial to you, or ways that it could benefit you to improve your listening skills, like how you could and what that would do for you, how it would change? Better understanding, yeah. Oh, strengthening relationships is a big one. There's a lot of not very deep listening in relationships, and that can be a big issue. These are all really good examples. Can you guys think of any specific times, you don't have to write it in the chat, but specific times where you knew you weren't listening well and it came back to hurt you in the long run, or you just missed out on a really good opportunity because you just didn't listen well, didn't listen to instructions, or didn't listen to how to get in. There's a lot of that.
I've got a quick question because this is something you girls talked about last night when Chloe read this story with her camera off, because a lot of students have been doing virtual learning. Was it harder to listen when you couldn't see either of the girls?
Yeah.
Or was it easier to pay attention when you could see them? Because this is the world these teenagers.
I think she was trying to say this is the world the teens live in. And yeah, it is kind of, I guess, speaking as a teen, Zoom and Google Meets for school classes can be really difficult because a lot of the kids don't have their cameras on, and sometimes if they don't have good audio, it cuts out and you can't really listen to the answer to the question. Or if you don't have good Wi-Fi at home, then sometimes it's hard to be at those.
Yeah. Okay. They've gotten through their time. We started a little bit late. So, any last words, girls?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any last tips?
Um,
Pass the
I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you for joining.